Clowns are a fascinating subject. They're everywhere. They're in your dreams, they're under your bed, they're in your closet, they're right behind you. And they're also in our history. Clowns are a morbid yet fascinating subject. Most people have an irrational fear of clowns, and yes, granted, while the thought of unexpectedly finding one in your home is all kinds of not cool, this fear seems to have been perpetuated by the portrayal of clowns in modern fiction. Whether they're crashing your picnic or violating your shower time, clowns in fiction seem to have one thing in common. They're all sinister. But what goes into making an evil clown truly sinister? Submitted for your approval, here are real people who inspired fictional clowns. Conrad Veidt was a German actor from the 1920s who starred in popular silent films such as The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and The Man Who Laughs. In the latter, he plays a disfigured circus performer by the name of Gwynplaine. As a boy, Gwynplaine's father offended the king and as punishment was executed by Iron Maiden. To really push the message across, the king also had a surgeon carve a permanent smile into the young Gwynplaine's mouth so as to keep him perpetually laughing at his own fool of a father. For much of his life, Gwynplaine would hide his horrible disfigurement, this Glasgow smile, with a scarf or high collar in order to function socially in public. Eventually being picked up by a public entertainer, he and a friend he had made as an abandoned homeless youth tour the land and use his permanent grin as an attraction. He eventually falls in love with his childhood friend, who doesn't judge him based on his appearance because she is blind, and being only able to feel his face, presumes he is the happiest person in the world. In a twisted turn of events, it turns out that Gwynplaine is the rightful heir to royal lineage, and is arranged into a forceful marriage, before fleeing to be with his childhood friend, who tragically dies at sea. Stricken with grief, he throws himself into the sea. The appearance of Veidt's Gwynplaine is memorable and has made an impression on audiences since its debut. So much so that despite the film The Man Who Laughs being a romantic melodrama in conjunction with its heavy gloom, it is often considered to be a horror film. The unsettling appearance of the Man Who Laughs was later used as an inspiration for one of the greatest comic book villains of all time, the Joker. Are you a fan of American Horror Story? Many fans of American Horror Story were excited when they found out that there would be a clown starring in the season called Freak Show. While the series does devote an entire episode to Twisty's backstory, it doesn't reveal a ton of information regarding the reasoning behind Twisty's character. However, the rejected killer clown does have a striking resemblance to real-life serial killer John Wayne Gacy, also known as Pogo the Clown, who was responsible for the murder of over 30 young men. In life, Gacy was a family man who was well respected in the community. He was known for being incredibly charismatic and used this to his advantage, manipulating many young men into leaving themselves vulnerable to his dark desires. Eventually, the stress of covering up his secret life caught up with him, and he confessed to the murders. He was executed by lethal injection on May 10, 1994. There's a lot more to this particular clown, but I've already done an entire episode on him, so I will leave a link to that episode at the end of the video. And of course, what would a list of fictional clown characters be without including one of the most popular evil clowns to have ever existed? Do you want a balloon? Renowned in his time as the Man of 1,000 Faces, Lon Chaney is regarded as one of the most versatile and powerful actors of early cinema, credited for his characterizations of tortured, often grotesque, and afflicted characters, as well as his groundbreaking artistry with makeup. According to Bart Mixon, who was Tim Curry's makeup artist on the set of Stephen King's It, and also had work featured in Fright Night 2, the inspiration for Pennywise's look came from Lon Chaney's 1925 portrayal of the Phantom of the Opera. The upturned nose, bald dome, and cheekbones were intended to echo this classic makeup. While he was researching clowns in preparation for creating the look, He said that he found a photo of a Russian clown from around 1917 that looked very much like Chaney's Phantom, but much creepier than Pennywise. The process of turning Tim Curry into Pennywise took 3 hours each time, and understandably, was not the most pleasant ordeal for the actor. The original novel, The Phantom of the Opera, off which the film is based on, is partly inspired by historical events at the Paris Opera during the 19th century and a rumored tale concerning the use of a former ballet pupil's skeleton in Carla Maria von Weber's 1841 production of The Marksman. And that's all for this episode. As always, I would like to thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this episode about fictional clowns, you might just enjoy my other 2 Dark Side episodes where I talk about evil clowns that actually existed. You can catch those videos right above over here. I'm going to put it right around there. Anyway, thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.